So 31b. Kshoimer Tmima, that's the beginning of the line. Kshoimer Tmima Chulu, Rabbi Merlitin Shnas Ibura. So Machlekes Rabbi and Chachamim, how you make the year. Rabbi says that when you have 1 year to redeem a house that's in a walled city, he says that you have a 365-day year. Chachamim say that you don't have a 365-day year. You have a 354-day year. So what do you do for the leap year? You throw in the leap year every 2-3 years. You throw in an extra month. So what are we going to do with the extra month? Rebbe says you divide it 11 days per year. That's what it means Tamima, and the Chachams learn it differently. Taner Rabban, and the rabbis taught in a brisa, Shana Tamima, Rabbi Amar Maina, Shalish Meis V'Shishim V'Chamisha Yaman Kamini Meisachama. Rebbe says that you divide it. 31b. 31b. We're a page behind. The Rebbe says you do 365 like the solar calendar. That you only count 12 months from day to day. And if that year happens to be a leap year, he gains an extra month. You follow? There's two ways of doing this. Two opinions. Let's say you have 12 months passed and he's not redeemed, so it goes to the purchaser. It says letzmisas, which means absolutely, right? Lachalutin, which means forever. That's davarach letzmisas, and it says the word letzmisas, which is in the pasuk that says that it gets sold absolutely. So the Rabbi says Matan, it's coming to include a gift. We were learning all of this regarding a sale. Let's say someone gives a house as a gift. So the same law applies. That if you would want to redeem it back, you would have 1 year. Otherwise, at the end of the year, it's considered that person. So the gift is a value of the house. My time, what's the reason? Tzamis tzmisas. Could have said tzamis, it says tzmisas. That extra part of the word tells me matana. Amru Rabbana Kameder Rav Papa. The rabbi said in front of Rav Papa. Papa is very late amongst the Amiraim, towards the end of the Amiraim, student of Rabbah. They said in the Talmidim said in front of Rav Papa, they said, Rav Papa down here towards the end. They said, Command the Laker Rab Meir. That doesn't go with Rab Meir. We had Rab Meir before. You don't have to remember. We had him Bechiris. Where Rab Meir holds, Dika Rab Meir Rab Matane Nekamecher. Rab Meir holds that a gift is not like a sale. What was Rab Meir referring to there? Referring to Yovel? Does it say over there what Rab Meir was referring to? Oh, I have a Bechiris in here. Bechiris in Beis. There was a Mishnah there where Rab Meir. Yeah, and what was it referring to? Yeah, the properties that don't go back by Yovel. If someone sells a property, normally, if he sells it, not if he sanctifies it, if he sells it, when the Yovel comes, it goes back to him. The mayor holds that if it's given as a gift, it doesn't go back.
So that's a way
it's to circumvent. It gets out of the Yovel issue. So if Reb Meir holds that matana eina kamecher, it doesn't have the same status. So therefore, what's going to be if someone sells a house in a walled city, which you only have 1 year to redeem, and after that year not? So Reb Meir would say that matana eina kamecher. I don't know what he would say, but he definitely doesn't hold that you have 1 year to redeem, and then after that year it's finished. What would he say? Would he say that you have more time to redeem it? Maybe you can never redeem it. Maybe it means you can never redeem it. Okay, Amar of Papa. Rav Papa says, I feel a tamer of Meir. Rav Papa tells the Talmidim that no, you're saying it's absolutely not Rav Meir, because Rav Meir says that a gift is not like, we're still on 31. Here, a page ahead. We're on 31b.
31b5.
You're saying that it's not Rav Meir, because Rav Meir holds a gift is not like a sale. Shani Hacha, here it's different. Rabbi Rachman al Itzmitzis, I have a pasuk that has an extra word that tells me that after a year it's finished, and it's including a gift. Amr Rabbanan Rav Papa, it's probably supposed to be Ba'amrila. Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua Rav Papa. It's either Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua or the rabbis. Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua is a contemporary of Rav Papa. That's Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua here. See that? The little one over there. He says to Rav Papa, "V'gabi Yovel d'ksiv teshuva l'Rabbi says matana." You did the same thing by Yovel when you sold the property. We had an extra word that says teshuva, that it returns to the owner, and that extra word tells me that even a gift returns to the owner at Yovel. And Reb Meir ignored that word, and now you're going to come over here and say that I have latzmisas that says includes matana. He ignored it over there. All of a sudden over here it's going to be no. Here it's different. Reb Meir like Amarbi, Reb Meir didn't use that word. From Ela Havadid like Reb Meir, must be that this doesn't fit with Reb Meir.
The halacha is like Reb Meir.
Really? Is that what it says?
No, I'm asking. Do you know who the halacha is?
No, it's not like Reb Meir. It's not like Reb Meir. Matana is included. Right.
Everybody would...
Very often the halacha is not like Reb Meir. The Gemara says, why? Because we weren't able to understand Reb Meir's reasoning. Tana Rabbanan, Hamakdish Bayis B'Bati Yerichayma. Someone consecrates a house in a walled city. Raise a goyel, v'goyel liyolam. It's a little different. Before, if a field was consecrated, you only had till the 50th year. After the 50th year, it went to Kayanim. Here, no, you can always redeem it. Golo acham yad hektish. Let's say someone else redeems it from the temple. So it's as if he purchased it. Because the other person, it wasn't the original owner. Someone else comes along and redeems it from Hekdesh, and now he has it. So after 12 months, it becomes his.
So anyone could redeem?
Yeah.
But when he redeems, he cuts off the rights of the original owner.
Right. It's like a sale.
It's like a tax deed sale.
Yeah.
Basically, you go to Hektish, you buy it. And when you buy it from Hektish, and if the person redeems it, he redeems it from Hektish, or he redeems it from the guy?
He redeems it from Hektish.
Hektish goes and grabs it from the guy within the first 12 months.
No. So 1 second. With that we have to see. It doesn't go back to Hektish. The Gemara is going to discuss that. The Gemara says, Minani Mili. And where do we know this? That this is how it works. The purchaser keeps it, and afilu miyad hektish, even if he purchases it off hektish. The Gemara asks, "V'lachalte hektish." Why doesn't if someone consecrates it, why doesn't hektish keep it after a year? The Gemara says, "Amakra lidei raisav." The pasuk says, "Lidei raisav," for his generations. Yatsa hektish ein lideiros, but the temple, or God rather, doesn't have generations. This is different than other religions, by the way. So the procreation. So therefore, it doesn't apply to Hektish this law that after a year there's no more ability to redeem it. Okay. So what would happen? The person would how could the person get it back after a year? The original owner would have to go to this person and buy it back from it and redeem it back.
When you redeem it, is there a set price to it?
We said
based on the years.
We said we didn't say. We discussed this by if there were two sales.
What I'm saying is there a chance for the new owner to get disadvantaged because he bought from Hektish? If it's a set price and he bought from Hektish,
I'm not sure. We discussed something about two sales. Okay, now the Gemara continues. It says, Lo yetzi by yovel. It does not go out by yovel. Lamali. Why do we need to say that? It already says, Latzmisus, that it stays by him absolutely. Amar Rav Safra says, Very interesting case. He sells it in the 49th year. He has a year to redeem it back. But Yovel comes during that year. So, I could have thought that Yovel takes it back to the original owner. Kamashmlan, this says it. It doesn't work. Yovel works with the field. But here, this is a house in a walled city. The Yovel doesn't take it back, even if it's in the first year.
Why?
That's what the pasuk says.
So you have to wait another.
No, you don't wait.
years?
It's finished.
It's gone.
After the first year, it's gone. You only have 1 year to redeem it.
So the pasuk that we all know that gives somebody a year to redeem a house is a year as long as someone else doesn't come along and buy it. That's what we've just learned.
No.
Right? We said
No,
someone
that
else
was
can
if
buy
it
it
was
from him.
consecrated. That's it. That's what was consecrated. That's if he consecrated it. But if he sells it,
Just sells
then he buys it back he goes and redeems it back. Okay. The Mishnah says like this. A new Mishnah, very interesting Mishnah. You can imagine this happening. The guy has 1 year for this item to get returned to its original, to this house to get returned. So what would he do? It would come the last day, which that's how people are. They wait till the last day to get their money together, and it's the last chance. They're going to go and they're going to buy it back. So the guy would go and hide. He's incommunicado, right? You can't get in touch with him. So Hiskin Hillel instituted
escrow the money.
That you would put the money into the temple yard or the yeshiva sadelis v'nechnas and just go into the house.
Whoa.
And they would take the money for the person. The original owner wants to get it back, but the guy disappears. So you put the money in the temple and you just open up the lock. You go inside. Now, then the purchaser goes and gets his money whenever he wants it from the temple. Amar Rava. The Gemara says like this. We're jumping generations here. Rava says, "Mitakanasi shel Hillel." According to this takana, this is a takana from Hillel that you're allowed to do this. If not for Hillel's takana, you wouldn't be allowed to do this. From this, we see if someone says, someone gives a get. We don't do this today. We don't make any conditions on a get. Once the get's given, the get's given. This person made a condition. He says, here's your get. So the woman's now walking around with a get that says she's divorced, but she's actually not divorced. Why? Because there's a condition that's attached. The condition is that you have to give me 200 coins. I'll give you the get. I'll give it. Here's the get. The woman's walking around with the get now, but the condition is that she has to pay him money for the get to be valid.
To the husband.
To the husband. So, v'nasnalai midaitai. She then gives him the money. Okay, megureshet. The problem is, let's say she gives him the money bal karchai. The guy says, no, I'm not taking the money. So he's controlling the validity of the get by not accepting the money. So she takes the money and she throws it at him, or into his property. So Eina Megureshet is not divorced. How do we see this?
What do you mean it's Balkarcha? He put that as a condition.
He put it as a condition, but now he's not taking it. I don't want that money. That money, that came from your parents. I want your different money, whatever. It comes up with some reason why he's not doing it. So, how do we know that it needs to be willingly that he accepts the money? Hillel instituted that when he gives the money to the guy, to the purchaser, how does he give it? He gives it because the guy disappears, but he gives it to the temple. Gives it to the lishka. Then that's considered valid, haba alma. But if Hillel didn't institute that, Nesina bal karchalayav Nesina wouldn't have been considered given. So too, this woman, there was no institution from Hillel that a woman that throws money at her husband, that the money is given, right? Hillel never instituted. Hillel only instituted it in a different case. So therefore, in the case of the divorce, it doesn't work.
That whole case is very problematic. A guy could do this, and then later on, after she gets married, he goes and he announces, "I took it by force," and you're having issues of gittin. It's like it's crazy.
Exactly. We don't do any conditions in gittin anymore. Exactly. If this would we'd continue this, we'd be left with a lot of issues. He used to pay up first. Shikaya. Oh, look at that, the best. Wow.
Whoa.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
So look at all of these colors. Okay. Go ahead, everyone. Maskefler of Papa. Rav Papa, as you know,
You give him the healthy food.
he knows me. Rav Papa is a student of Rava.
No, that's not leech.
These are long gans.
Oh, they're like
Cultural leeches.
Yeah. They're
Little leeches.
what is it?
Little leeches.
They call them a poor man's lychee. Apparently the lychees are like more rich, more the flavor is stronger. You can't get lychees are only Shavuos time. You can't get them. Maskefler of Papa, they come with the Torah. Maskefler of Papa. Rav Papa has a question too to Rava. The Itema Ravash. That could be Ravashi. Rav Simi Barashi. That's even worse. Rav Simi Barashi. Maybe not. No, Rav Simi Barashi is earlier. See that? Rav Simi Barashi. That's good.
He says shimmy.
Okay.
Simi.
You can put vowels however you want. Okay. You see that you don't have them circled.
Wow.
So Rav Simi Barashi tells to Rav Papa, you see we have something over here that's very interesting. There's two variables here. You see, one there's two things that are happening in the case with the house. There's two variables. One is that it's bal karchai. The purchaser does not want the money. The second thing is the purchaser is not there. Which one is the main one? The fact that he doesn't want it, or the fact that he's not there? So they ask to Rav Papa, or they asked to Rava rather, why did Hillel need to make an institution here? Why shalai b'fanav? Because the person wasn't there. Aval b'fanav, but if the person is there, as in the case of the woman with her husband, bein midaite bein bal karche havi matana, then it would be a real gift. It would have been a gift. The money would be accepted because the guy's there. She's taking the money, she's throwing it at him in his property or whatever, and he's watching it. Hillel over there doesn't need to make an institution. The whole institution was because he wasn't there. So maybe this would be a valid divorce, even though the guy doesn't want to take it, but he sees what's happening, so the divorce is effective. Ikad Amri, there are those that say this is a little different. Amar Rava, exactly the opposite. Rava says, Mitakanasi shel Hillel, according to Hillel's institution, Hareza Gitech, what's going to come out is if a man tells to a woman, this is your divorce, Almanashe Titli Masayim Zuz, on condition that you give me 200 coins, and she gives to him, Bein Midai to Bein Malkar Chavinasina, whether it's by force or whether it's willingly that he accepts it, it's considered given. What does Hillel? Why did Hillel need to make an institution? Litakune, to make that institution shalei b'fanav, because the owner wasn't there, the purchaser wasn't there. Aval b'fanav, but if he would have been standing there, bein midait bein makar chavi nesina, that would have been effective. If he'd be there. And then on this maskefler of Rav Papa asks, Vitem Rav Simi Barashi. Over here it's corrected in the Gemara itself. Vidilma, but maybe bein b'fanav bein shalei b'fanav midaiti and balkar chalai. How do you know that the main variable here has to do with whether he's standing there or whether he's not standing there? Maybe the difference is if it's against his will or not. We ask our original story. The Hillel, my death shechlei taken, and Hillel was only instituted when he needed to institute. So in other words, we don't know, based on these two versions, we don't know which was the main reason why Hillel instituted that it's going to be that the person is allowed to take the money, put it in the temple, and it's considered given to the person. Why does Hillel need to institute it? There's two possibilities. One possibility is because the owner, the purchaser, isn't there. The other possibility is because he doesn't want to take it. What's the difference? The difference is if the owner is there and he doesn't want to take it. Like in the case of the divorce, where the husband is there, he doesn't want to accept it. So if Hillel needs to institute it because he doesn't want to accept it, that was a special institution, and over there it doesn't work by the divorce. But if it's because he wasn't there, well, here he's here. We don't need any. Hillel doesn't need to institute anything. Okay. The Mishnah says like this. We discussed this. You mentioned, Dr. Stein, you mentioned this. Is it only a house? Or what about other things that are there, that are in the walled city? So anything that's in the walled city, the Mishnah says, is considered has the status of a house, except for fields. Reb Meir says, afasades, even fields. If they're in a walled city, you can imagine the fields are in the walled city. They're probably protecting the houses. Usually the fields would be outside the wall. Right, that's a big job.
Not
To have
too
the
many.
wall.
Corner lot, unbuilt.
They said the guy was asking his Rebbe for a bracha for parnasa. So after a while, he stopped asking. The Rebbe says, "What happened? You have parnasa?" He says, "No, I bought a cow, and it's giving milk." He says, "Yeah, but you live in the city. The cow needs to eat grass." He said, "How do you have it?" He says, "No, I figured that out. I serve the cow milk, and then it gives milk." So he says, "But how much milk do you serve, and how much does it give?" He says, "I serve it a gallon, and it gives me a gallon." He says, "But that's not a business." He says, "No, I serve it chalav akama, but it gives me chalav Yisrael." Okay, so bayas abani b'chayma, a house that's that's built in the wall. We had this several weeks ago in the Haftarah. Rachav, she lived in the wall. The Gemara is going to mention that. In the wall, is that inside the city or is that outside the city? Where's the main wall? The inner wall or the outer wall? Is she living right outside the city or in the city? There's two ways of looking at it. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Einik about the Erechim. It's not a house in the city. Rabbi Shimon Omer Kaisel Achitza Nechamas. We know the opposite. The outer wall is the wall of the city. It depends how you want to learn this. What was the agreement that the spies made with her? Because they were only meant to get rid of everyone in the city. Is she living outside the city? What was that agreement exactly? Okay. Tana Rabbanan, Rabbi Stodan Bayis says a house in a walled city. Ain't Liela Bayis. I only know that this is the law by a house. Minayin l'Rabbeis Bati Badim. How do you know to include a olive press, a Bati Merchatzos, or bathhouses, or migdalois, or do you have a translation for that? Rashi gives a French.
Tower.
A tower. What do they say?
Cupboards. The house is cupboards.
Cupboards? It could be. 15. Rendered by Targum Halas, yeah. They're translating a French. Rashi says Mishtaya, which he translates as cupboards, an old French. B'shoifchen, birdhouses, ubayr sichan amayris, different types of cisterns, a pit, a cistern, a well, whatever. Talmud Laimar, the pasuk says ashir be'ir, anything that's in the city. It's in the city. It has that status that you have 1 year to purchase it back. Yachal shani mar ba'fasades. Maybe I should include fields also, because that's also if it's in the city. Talmud Laimar bias. It says house. Can't be a field. The Rabbi Yehuda. That's the words of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir says. Bias, you see, the Bryce here is more of an elaborated version of the machlekes that we had in the Mishnah. The Mishnah tells me Reb Meir's opinion that it includes fields, and Rabbi Yehuda doesn't hold the field. Bryce elaborates it. It's students of Rabbi Akiva. You see that? Reb Meir Bias ain't liela bias. I would only know a house. Minayin l'Rabbi spati badim bati merchatzos migdalois v'sheifchen abayir sichen amaris v'afilu sades. Reb Meir adds in and even fields. How do I know to include all of those things? The olive press and the wells and the bathhouses and the cupboards. If it's in the city, It's included even if it's a field. V'lahaksiv bias. What does Rameir do with the house? It says house. Amrav Chizda, Amrav Katina, Cholsei Mitzula. You're right. Really, an actual field is not included. What did Rameir include? A quarry and a place where they get sand from. The Rosh Tosfos on the quotes the Rashbam of Avasa that says Cholsei is where they take glass from. Mitzula is a fish pond. That would be. It's not a field that you grow things in, but you do. Yeah, that's Rashi's pshat, and the Rashbam has where you, it's funny because it says where you get sand. Rashi says sand for mitzula, and Rashbam says chulsei is where you get glass from.
Ah, we get glass from sand.
Right, but the only thing is it's a different word, chulsei or mitzula. But anyway, there's definitely sand coming from these places. Ikabenaya, that's the difference between Reb Meir and Reb Yehuda. But everyone holds a field cannot be sold in this manner. V'atanya chulsei mitzula Reb Meir mekabatim. I'm sorry. V'atanya is the proof. V'atanya. Normally v'atanya is a question. Here v'atanya is benichusa. Because the word v'ha means but, and it also means behold. Here it is. Ha could mean this one, and it could also mean but. Ha. You see, in the four down, it says ha or viha, this or but that. So that's those are opposite meanings. This means that this is the proof. But means this is. But no, this is not the proof. Right? The opposite. Okay. Here's the Gemara. We're in the center there.
What?
Okay.
Right or wrong, you're a good choice.
So, Vahatanya, and here's our proof. The proof is Cholsei Mitzula Rameir Mekabatim, that those quarries and sand mines are like houses. Rabbi Yehuda Mekasadis to like fields. So that's the machlekes. Vahatanya is the proof. Bayas Abani B'chaim is a new Gemara, a house that's in the wall. Rabbi Yehuda Eina Kabat Yerechaim. Rabbi Yehuda says is not included in the city because it's in the wall itself. That means it's outside the city. Here, come a little further. In this one. So, when you buy a b'chayras, it comes along with the erachin. It's like a discount. So, okay. Amar Rabbi Yochanan says Shnei Mikra Echad, so they learn it from one pasuk. The pasuk says, the pasuk in Yeshua, chapter 2, Vatirida Mechevel B'adach Halayin. She lowered them down with a rope through the window. Kibesa Bekira Chaima, because her house was in the wall. Ubechaima hi yesheves, and she lived in the wall. Reb Shimon Savar Kapashti Dekra. Reb Shimon holds that when it says Bechaima yesheves, that she lived in the walled city. And Rabbi Yehuda Savar Bechaima hi yesheves v'lei be'er Chaima. Rabbi Yehuda holds that it means she lived in the wall, but not in the city, not in the walled city. There's different ways of reading that pasuk. A new Mishnah. Shagag Geser Chaimsa. This is interesting. I had a friend that passed away in a car accident. He walked into the yeshiva, and he had a ponytail. Played guitar for Disney. It was like a master musician. But anyway, he came to visit my family in Crown Heights. So I took him to Borough Park. We're walking in the streets. He says, these houses are incredible because they're each like a fortress. You can't get in unless you go upstairs. I don't know if you know the picture. I don't know, he was like thinking about everything like a battle, but anyway.
Strategist.
A strategy. It's possible that you can have the houses built in a way that the houses themselves can act as a wall around the city. So what happens if you have the houses built that way? Is that considered a walled city? Or is it a city without? We just discussed if the house is in the wall. Is that considered in the city or outside the city? Where's the wall? The outer wall or the inner wall? That was our last discussion. Now we're discussing, is this a walled city? If you don't have a wall, you just have houses, and the way the roofs and the houses are made. So or if it wasn't surrounded by a wall from the days that the Jewish people came into the land of Israel, from the days of Yeshua, is not considered a walled city. So just because the houses are attached doesn't make it into a walled city. What is considered a walled city? Or houses in a walled city? If I have 3 courtyards, each one has a duplex in it. So 3 like townhouse, 3 that's in it with a wall around it. That's considered a city already. So I have 6 like tenants, 3 courtyards, and each one has 2 houses. That's a city. And if that would have been Mukafas Chaim Ma'aseh Yeshua ben Nun, if it would have been surrounded from the days of Yeshua, goes back 3,000 years. Kagoin, for example, Ktsara Yeshana Shal Tzipari, this old place of Ktsara, which was right outside Tzipari. B'Chakra Shal Gush Chalav. Chakra may be translated there as something else. No, it's called Chakra of Gush Chalav. The Yedefes Yeshana in the old place of Yedefes. Gmala is Gamla, Gedud, Bechadid, Va'ina, Yerushalayim. All of those are cities. And it's similar. Those would